couple weeks ago. Also very close to the list that we had William Jensen playing during the early rounds of this tournament as well. So super straightforward deck. If you've seen any Legacy ever, you know exactly what this deck is trying to do. And he's up against Jacob Dobbs playing Mono Red Burn.
That's right. Jacob Dobbs is in fact playing Mono Red Burn. It looks like nothing crazy out of the ordinary. He has main deck 4 Sulfured Vortexes, which might be considered a little unconventional, or Vortices, if you prefer.
Which I don't.
Yeah. But beyond that, yeah, he's only running Goblin Guides and Grim Lavamancers for creatures, so he's from the Peace Sully, you know, if the creature doesn't burn, I don't want it in my deck.
Yeah.
No Vexing Devils here, no Keldon Marauders, no Hellspark Elementals, just Goblin Guides, Grim Lavamancers, and a bunch of spells. He does have 4 Price of Progress main deck, so those aren't very good in this matchup. They're okay, right? You get like 2, maybe 4 damage out of them?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like max 4 damage, honestly. Maybe if something goes horribly wrong, 6. Joseph would take off Price of Progress, but this is just going to be a flat race here. I don't think this is a race that actually favors Jacob at all.
Look at that Rakdos Snake. I'd put him on burn as soon as I sat
down. Pretty hard not to, right?
Pretty easy reads.
Yeah, it looks like Jacob's deck is very, very close to the list that Patrick Sullivan plays. I know that Pat had moved Sulfuric Vortexes to the sideboard and was actually starting Searing Blaze at Grand Prix Denver, just based on the format, Deathrite Shamans being everywhere, but he's decided Jacob has to move the Sulfuric Vortexes back main, Searing Blazes back to the sideboard, which actually is pretty good here, as Sulfuric Vortex can actually take care of Gristlebrand, so it's actually a pretty big deal.
Turn 1.
Go ahead.
Turn 1 Ponder for Joseph. He shuffled it pretty quickly. I think I saw Gristlebrand, so I assume he already has something going on, or maybe he's just looking for a way to cheat one into play specifically. That seems likelier.
But this matchup is just going to be a flat race, and I think the race definitely favors Joseph just because he has double lands. And once his deck actually does its namesake, which is cast Show and Tell or Sneak Attack, the game is basically going to end. Because we're going to see a Scalding Tarn here from Jacob. We're going to push him down to 19, and we'll see if he's going to start with a Goblin Guide, or if it's going to be a Lava Spike.
Could be a Grim Lavamancers.
That would stink.
Or a Chain Lightning.
That would be okay.
Or a Rift Bolt.
That would stink.
Or a Lightning Bolt.
That would be okay.
Well, I mean, I'd probably do it at the end step.
Yeah, you
because why not?
Yeah, that's what you could do. So let's see what it's going to be. Which one of these 1-drops? It is Goblin Guide. I guess I got it right on the first try.
GG, indeed.
Feels good. And for 2, we got a trigger.
Really?
We got a Scalding Tarn.
Didn't even have to sort of ponder for that one. Just had it.
I knew it was there.
Natural.
And the funny thing that Joseph actually has in his deck, which might actually end up mattering here, is Misdirection. A card that, you know, is used to fight Forcible in that very unique way. You bend the Misdirection around, have it target something that it's not supposed to. However, you know, you can also do that with burn spells, which is a more practical use of Misdirection.
Especially Fire Blast. That's a big one.
Yeah. So we're going to see a main phase Brainstorm here from Joseph. Of course, we know that he does have a Scalding Tarn in his hand, so he can't actually, you know, do the fun interaction there of brainstorming and then sacrificing the fetch land to cycle away the garbage.
Yeah, it looks like Joseph has 2 Misdirections in his hand. In fact, I think those are the blue cards in the middle there. He's also got a Spell Pierce, a Lotus Petal, and I believe another Ponder.
It doesn't look like he has, you know, Show and Tell or Sneak Attack, though, and I don't know if he has
Fatty.
any... Yeah, or a Fatty.
So we're missing every part of our combo.
Save me, Brainstorm. Save me.
He has another Brainstorm there.
So you're going to see a Scalding Tarn come in.
I imagine he's probably just going to pass here unless he wants to crack a Petal. It looks like he wants to crack a Petal. Like, I shouldn't say crack a Petal. I would want to play a Petal in order to keep Spell Pierce up on my opponent's turn.
Sure.
Yeah. He can crack the land to go get another blue source and Brainstorm again.
Certainly has plenty of mana available.
Assuming I saw that card correctly, I'm pretty sure it was a Brainstorm.
Jake's going to take a draw here. He's going to run into a Flame Rift. No misdirecting that. That's for
his
sure.
His hand is actually pretty misdirection proof. He's got a Bolt, that's about it. Then it's like Grim, Flame Rift, Vortex.
Alright.
It's not the worst.
And for 2 comes the Goblin Guide. Jacob's going to take his free draw.
I imagine this is one reason Joseph didn't shuffle. He knew he'd placed a land there with his Brainstorm, so he'll wait, get an extra card in his hand, which makes his next Brainstorm even better.
Yep. AJ would be proud.
Yeah.
As we are going to see, looks like it's going to be Grim Lavamancers here.
If he plays Grim Lavamancers, he's sort of, I think, committed to casting Bolt in the end step, probably.
Yeah. And then that could get misdirected to either one of the guys
Yeah.
or just upstairs, but I imagine it would be one of the creatures.
I think Grim's okay. I might be pretty tempted to just cast a Flame Rift, though.
So we're going to see Joseph sacrifice that fetch land, move down to 15 now. And he has got to find some action here soon. I'd say he's got about 2 more turns until he needs to really start worrying.
Yeah.
But don't want to mess around here against the burn deck. The burn deck can kill you on turn 3, consistently on turn 4. So don't mess around too much against this deck.
Goes for an island. Likely playing around the price of progresses. You know, just keep being safe.
Yeah. And it's very clear what Jacob's deck is at this point. Goblin Guide is only in one deck, really. I mean, blue-red Delver as well, but Grim Lavamancer is a pretty dead giveaway, as you're going to see Joseph take a draw step here. Runs into another Brainstorm, so he's got plenty of manipulation. He just needs to find the things that are actually going to help him win the game. And Brainstorm is going to resolve. Joseph's going to draw 3 cards here. Let's see what he finds. Flooded Strand, Lotus Petal, and I can't quite make out what the card was in the middle there. That's a Scalding Tarn, so he actually just doesn't have any of his pieces yet, Glenn, which is very strange.
I imagine Joseph finds it very strange too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not excited about the strangeness.
I am taken by surprise here. I think this is a matchup that he would want to be in a large amount of the time, because his deck is just a full turn faster.
On the upside, he gets to play it, 1, maybe 2 more times in this round.
It's true. So you're going to see a Scalding Tarn here. Can sacrifice the things away. And you see a Lotus Petal as well. Another Lotus Petal. Okay, and he does have an Emrakul in the back. So I do take it back. He does have an Emrakul in the back there.
We're halfway there. Halfway home.
Now it's time to try to find Sneak Attack or Show and Tell. You're going to see Jacob sacrifice that Wooded Foothills on the end step. Going to search for a basic mountain, and I think, Glenn, we're going to see that Lightning Bolt maybe get misdirected here.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'd be burning a misdirection on here. It's going to save you much more damage than misdirecting any other burn spell would, since you'll get to prevent the 3 from the bolt and send it at the Goblin Guide. The real question is what he pitches. I would pitch the other misdirection myself. I imagine that's what Joseph will do, but...
And makes you wonder how...
You can hardcast a misdirection right now.
Yeah. Which is, I mean,
that's not what we were going to do.
Hey, that's a thing. So here it comes. We'll see if misdirection is going to take place here. Lightning Bolts.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy misdirection.
It's hard to pass up, right?
Yeah, it just looks so tasty. Like, what could go wrong?
Yeah. And as you said, his hand outside of this Lightning Bolt is like pretty misdirection proof.
Yep.
You're going to see misdirection, remove misdirection. He's going to take care of the Grim Lavamancer.
I guess he thinks he can still get a little bit of value out of the Goblin Guide, but honestly, I'd rather tie up Jacob's mana, I think.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing I was going to say. This is going to tie up his mana the entire time. Well, he's going to take care of the Grim Lavamancer. He's going to untap.
Goblin Guide will always deal 2 damage a turn. Grim Lavamancer will only sometimes deal 2 damage a turn, I think. And it will cost a mana each time. So I'm not sure Joseph, especially considering how many lands are in his hand, is really getting enough value out of that Goblin Guide. It's possible that he actually just fears dying to flood so much he wants to guarantee he gets a spell, as much as possible.
Sure. You see he's going to sacrifice that Scalding Tarn, going to push himself down to 14. Goblin Guy's going to put Joseph down to 12 once it does finally get to attack.
That'll put him real close to dead, at least as far as Jacob knows. Obviously, he's probably spell piercing whatever Jacob does this turn.
Yeah.
Which I assume will actually be Sulfuric Vortex rather than Flame Rift Rift Bolt.
Yeah.
Which is probably correct.
So you see he's going to keep searching up basic lands, searches out a basic mountain. Part of the reason this deck does play basic lands, of course, is dodge Wasteland, but it sure doesn't hurt to be able to dodge Price of Progress, as well. So, Joseph is ready to take that too, yeah.
Bring it.
Hiya. Reveal a card, good sir. It is Volcanic Island.
Oh. Mission accomplished.
That's not Sneak Attack or Show and Tell.
We got our value out of leaving the Goblin Guide around. Let's see if it pays off on the next draw step.
Jacob going to
He's
suspend
gonna
Rift Bolt.
suspend, okay. I think that this gives you more draw steps for a kill next turn than casting the Vortex, but I'm not sure.
Now you are going to see Flame Rift here from Jacob. A card we'll bring on the screen for you guys there. For those of you unfamiliar, the Nemesis Common.
Nemesis indeed. A lot of fine Nemesis commons in the Legacy format.
Is that true?
I mean, we've got Daze,
Okay.
fine one. We've got Flame Rift,
Uh-huh.
and those are like the only 2 cards anyone knows from Nemesis. So that's pretty much the set, right? Like, I'm sure there's another one too. I just can't think of it.
Oh, Nemesis.
Parallax Wave was a little big time for a little while.
That's a rare.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Just hey,
just saying it's from Nemesis.
that's true. Parallax Tide was a big card too.
Well,
back
it's
in the
Sky
day.
Shroud Cutter. That guy's the deal.
I thought that card was the deal, quote unquote, when I was 12.
Oh, that card, it's in the food chain deck, right? So, yeah.
Go get yours today.
Yeah, pick them up. StarCityGames.com. Sky Shroud Cutters.
That's right.
On sale now. It's really awkward if we're out of stock of that card right now. I have no idea.
So Joseph decided to take the 4 from the Flame Rift here, and I know he does have an abundance of mana, as he's going to draw a
ambitious.
card.
What are you spell piercing that's better than a Flame Rift?
I'm not entirely sure, as you're going to see a Brainstorm here. Hit 1.
We
hit
were
2,
fairly called out on accumulated knowledge.
hit
just
3.
now. That's pretty
Yes, yes.
Oh, we've got a show and tell.
AJ even brought accumulated knowledge back. I feel bad.
Yep. Well, Submerge is an uncommon. Yeah, but that's fair. That's fair.
I like when the people interact.
So do I. It's
fun.
good. It usually means we're wrong, but I'm okay with that. He threw away Spell Pierce. What are we doing?
Doesn't want it.
Volcanic Island? Oh, we have another Spell Pierce.
Now you're
Now
going
I
to see
really wish we'd
sneak
done one.
attack here.
Now, our opponent's about to lose all his permanents, which should put us in a winning position, I think.
Are you sure?
I think so.
You're pretty confident in your statement.
You know, I actually probably would have cast the Show and Tell, though, because you get an extra permanent that way.
Sure,
Like-
sure. So now here's Emrakul, and Jacob is at 14. Flame Rift actually put him down to 14. You know,
I
if he
want
were-
the extra permanents.
If he were at 16 or something, you're going to see him take a look at sneak attack here, wondering what this does. Yes, Jacob, it does have haste. It is going to make you sacrifice all of your things, and it is going to kill you right now. That is what's going to happen. I promise.
Could have gotten the Sulfuric Vortex, too.
Yep. And so that's a wrap. Jacob down a game. Joseph Loster does finally find a way to put Emrakul in play. It took him long enough. Enough brainstorms and ponders and preordains, but he did finally find a way and sneak attack to put Emrakul into play and attacking, and that puts him up a game.
You know, Emrakul's real good at closing the gap when you're behind, though.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like that's one of his strengths as a card. Like, if he were applying for a job, his resume might include, you know, real good at pulling in from behind. Or
Making my opponent want to kill himself.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically what it
comeback
does.
king in high school, perhaps.
Sure, sure. Absolutely. Predicted to be most successful in his class. Taking a look at the sideboard here for Joseph Loster, as he is up a game right now. Leyline of Sanctity? You think? Maybe?
That seems like a good one.
Okay.
I would cast that one.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, I wouldn't.
No, not gonna. I mean, he drew 3 Lotus Petals that game, so he could.
Yeah, he could have just...
He also has 2 copies of Echoing Truth to stave off elimination. A couple copies of Grafdigger's Cage here. A couple copies of Red Elemental Blast, obviously not going to come in here. 2 Pithy Needles and 3 copies of Through the Breach if he wants more ways to actually kill his opponent. But I think it's going to be pretty simple. He's going to bring in these ley lines. He might bring in these Echoing Truths, and he can sideboard out. Probably call like Misdirection, which is just like okay.
Yeah.
But Leyline is so much better than Misdirection in this matchup. And then Intuition's probably a little bit too slow, so you can sideboard those out. That would be 5. And then maybe, you know, he chops his Force of Wills potentially, or maybe slims down on those a little bit here. But Leyline's insane in this matchup, so all 4 are certainly coming in.
On Jacob's side, he's got 4 Red Elemental Blast and 3 Ensnaring Bridges as like relevant cards he could bring in. It's pretty dangerous to dilute your deck this heavily, though. He can definitely get rid of his 4 Price of Progress. They're not worth the investment. I'd much rather have a Reb than a Price in a given game. I'm not sure if the same can be said of Grim Lavamancer, which I think would be next on the docket. Maybe you board out like 2 of them, or I don't know. Maybe you can cut all 3 for just bring in those 7 cards. I'm not sure.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if he wants to. I was thinking in my head maybe he can cut Goblin Guy, but that seems like a little bit ambitious.
I think I would cut Grim before Goblin Guide for sure. Like, obviously, the Show and Tell deck can get a lot of value with all of its ponders and brainstorms on the lands, but at the same time, you know, if you can't cast your spells fast enough to kill them, then Mon's Goblin Raiders is not really where you want to be.
He did misdirect a lightning bolt to it, so maybe he disagrees with us.
Flag Bearer Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, ever heard of it?
Oh, we've got some updates on Nemesis. We've also got Reverence, Silence, Seal of Removal. I feel inclined to point out all of the seals at that point because they're all, relatively reasonable.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
So removal probably the best of the bunch actually for Legacy.
I love myself a Seal of Removal.
Seal of Fire, not so much. Seal of Strength I know sees play in the Pauper Infect deck.
That's right. So, I mean, Seal of Fires, it also can be played in the Legacy Blue-Green Enchantress deck as a kill condition. Yeah. It's a little better live than online, as it takes exactly 8 minutes to kill someone with it online.
Oh, okay. You've done the math?
Oh, I've done more than the math, my friend.
And the one that we don't bring up, actually, Seal of Cleansing.
Also a strong one.
That actually does see play. And then Seal of Doom.
That one used to see play. I actually, of those seals, it was a reasonable one when it was actually in.
Hey, they should bring the seals back.
The seals are good. The seals are ripe for reprint, Wizards.
I like those cards. I like the seals quite a bit. And those seals. I like those seals too. But what's the other seal? The green Seal Primordium. That's the time shifting.
Yeah, the time shifting Seal Primordium also sees a little bit of play.
You didn't know I can make a seal noise, did you?
If you'd asked me, I would have assumed probably.
Why?
It just seems something within your range, really.
I don't know if that's insulting or complimentary.
I don't really know either. I just know that that's the truth.
I'm a man of many talents. I used to make a mean elephant noise when I was a kid.
Oh.
I can't do it anymore. I don't know. I lost
Liar.
it. I can't. I would do it right now if I could. I can't do it anymore. I was actually trying to do it around my apartment at 3 a.m., which is a whole other story altogether. I don't know why I was doing that, but I can't do it anymore. It's kind of sad, actually. So we do see both players shuffling up here for game number 2. Again, I do think this is a matchup that does heavily favor Joseph Loster.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Jacob Dobbs, just mono red burn. This is not really where he wants to be. Much rather be playing against, your bug decks, your Jund decks.
Someone who's not trying to kill on turn 4.
Yeah, turn 4 is putting it nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Resolving Show and Tell is a complete disaster for Jacob. So,
if he had Arabian Nights Mountains, I'm sure he'd be doing better.
Ah, yes. Maybe a Wu-Tang Clan shirt. Yeah, that's all it really does take. A New Jersey Devils hat. Who he doesn't even watch hockey.
Just a fan, man. Love of the game.
How can you be a fan of something that you don't watch?
You just like it. It's easy.
All right, if you say so.
I'm a fan of lots of things in principle.
Only you. Only you. So we do see both players looking at their 7 cards here. Jacob Dobbs is going to be on the play this game. Looks like he's going to keep it.
Yeah, it's got a couple lands in there, I think, but maybe a little more. I think he might have 3, which is a little higher than I generally want to start with. But, beggars can't be choosers.
Joseph is happy enough. He does not have a Leyline of Sanctity, so that's a huge sigh of relief if you're Jacob. Jacob might not know that it's there, but most Sneak and Show decks nowadays do play 4 copies of that in their sideboard. So dodging that bullet's a good start. However, if your opponent's keeping 7 cards and doesn't have Leyline of Sanctity, there might be a bigger bullet coming.
You're dead.
Yeah. So we'll see exactly what Joseph has decided to keep this game. Last game he did just keep a hand heavy on manipulation and had an Emrakul. It took him a little while to find things. With Jacob being on the play this game, as you see a suspended Riftbolt, that might not work out so great.
That's not the best turn 1.
As we do see Joseph draw a Volcanic Island. He also has a Lotus Petal in his hand and a Brainstorm.
So pretty much our hand from last game. Still going to be just hoping to develop.
Almost a carbon copy, as you're going to see an island here. A Lotus Petal.
What's that card about? Show and Tell. Okay, so this hand's pretty. Show and Tell and a Sneak Attack, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this hand's pretty respectable.
I mean, he's got turn 2 on the horizon here.
I imagine we just Brainstorm right here. We don't want to open it up to Reb, right? Well, I guess if he has Show and Tell, we may be okay with getting Reb.
You might be okay with baiting out a Reb.
Use it as bait.
17.
It is possible that it'd be more important to resolve the Brainstorm than the Show and Tell, however, with a Sneak Attack also in the hand.
That's true. Jacob takes a draw step, Ensnaring Bridge.
All right, so we know we brought at least one of those in.
Show and Tell has just gotten much worse, as we see a Bloodstained Mire get sacrificed here. That's also, of course, another reason to bring in those Echoing Truths, not just to buy yourself time from Goblin Guide and Grim Lavamancer, but of course, to take care of the Ensnaring Bridge.
Or anything the opponent might have brought in.
Yes, since it bounces any permanent.
Yeah, those catch-all answers very popular for that reason.
Part of the reason that the Eggs deck in Modern is so very good.
We got Vicious Hunger as one from Nemesis. I think now we're
stretching.
Low.
Yeah, we are stretching.
We're deep in the barrel for Vicious Hunger. I'll grant you, some people played Vicious Hunger, but
we are reaching with Vicious Hunger, I feel. Flame Rift.
Boom. Take it. 4 damage.
That's exactly what it does. Jacob moving down to 14, Joseph moving down to 13. Take a draw step, show and tell and is the draw again here. So we're probably going to lead off with a Brainstorm, and there it is. Hit 1, hit 2, and number 3.
Joseph was pretty patient with his Brainstorm, waiting until his turn to cast it. I know a lot of show and tell players go back and forth on what I've seen them play, Brainstorms versus the end step versus their turn. Obviously, you get more value on your turn, but when you're a combo deck, your value is mostly wrapped up in your ability to kill the opponent.
Yes.
So an extra card is often not actually as make or break as it seems.
Living on Sanctity, one of the cards that Joseph actually did end up drawing here off of the Brainstorm. You see him putting that back almost immediately. But one thing to keep in mind, of course, is that he can show and tell that into play if he needs to. I'd be a little bit surprised to see that happen, but stranger things have happened.
I mean, if you have 2 show and tells and you already put a fatty in play and they got Ensnaring Bridge, what else are you going to do?
Protect yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to see Lotus Petal.
It could interestingly allow you to actually Gristlebrand, like once.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of curious. I hope it happens now.
So you see a Preordain with the Lotus Petal. Joseph just immediately puts the 2 cards to the bottom. And he does draw a fetch land now, a little late, of course, but he is going to play Flooded Strand. We know he has 2 copies of Show and Tell in his hand and a Sneak Attack. Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal also there as well, and he does just pass the turn.
It's interesting he went ahead and played the Lotus Petal.
Jacob takes a draw. Jacob finds a Flame Rift. Going to sacrifice a Bloodstained Mire, go down to 13. I think it's time to slam that Ensnaring Bridge down.
Yeah, Jacob doesn't want to just randomly die next turn. He'll be happy to put the bridge in play. Now, once the bridge is down, I actually might just snap Show and Tell for the ley line, to be honest.
Well, he put it to the bottom with the Preordain.
He moved it to the bottom of the deck?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those aren't there anymore.
Those aren't there anymore.
He can shuffle it back in with that Flooded Strand.
But, yeah, he's still got to find it.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. It's a line to probably keep open against mono red, and Ensnaring Bridge is a really common sideboard card for burn decks.
And you see 3 mana, and you do see...
That's not a Show and Tell.
Yeah. That's not a morph either. It's an Ensnaring Bridge. A card that we will bring up on screen for you guys as well. It's not a card that sees a ton of play in Legacy. You can Enlighten Tutor for this, and some decks do, but mostly you're going to find this in the sideboard of the mono red burn deck to make sure that they can't be beaten down by Emrakul and Gristlebrand.
Well, we just drew Gristlebrand a turn too late.
You're a little late. I'm already torn.
Well, you can Natalie and Bruley all you want, man.
Oh! Great music video.
I can't remember that music video.
Really?
Wasn't that like a decade ago?
A little more than that. Yeah. It's really good, though. Really good.
I don't know how many things I thought were really good a decade ago were actually really good.
Some things never change. That, like the movie Can't Hardly Wait, still fantastic.
I'll give you Can't Hardly Wait. I mean, that's just reasonable. Finest young actor of our generation
is
Seth Green.
Wow. Can I get a replacement here?
The Trolls.
Can I get a replacement here? The answer you're looking for was Ethan Embry.
Ethan Embry is a fine actor of our generation. Currently can be seen on ABC's Once Upon a Time.
How do you know that?
I am a font of knowledge.
Is his name Preston Myers in that as well?
No, I don't actually know what his name is. He's like some guy who got in a car accident. He's a recurring character.
It's too bad.
Or guest star, one of those two. I'm not really sure what the difference is once you've been on like 3 episodes. You're bleeding the lines. We're fetching. Fetching. Please hold. Island.
Still kind of playing around price progress a little bit. Yeah, I think you can infer that Jacob probably boarded those out, but better safe than sorry. If he doesn't need to search a volcanic island, then there's no reason to.
Yeah, I agree. Post-board, I would assume that they didn't have access to price of progress.
And so we're going to see this. We're going to see a show and tell. Okie dokie, Smokey.
Game's not going to win itself.
That's true. Got to catch your namesake card. Jacob's going to read that. Jacob, come on. Jacob, you're better than that. You are.
Give him the bizzle.
Hiya! Mountain in, Gristlebrand in. Gristlebrand, you're a pretty scary card, but not right now. You're not very scary right now. As Jacob is going to untap and draw. Snaring Bridge holding down the fort. As you see Jacob draw a mountain so he can get more cards out of his hand. You see his hand a Flame Rift plus Rift Bolt.
I would probably just cast the Rift Bolt. Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Yep.
I like that line. You don't want to randomly get got by, a ley line or something like that, or a misdirection if your opponent just happens to draw one next turn.
Yep. So you see him cast that. You're going to see him likely cast his Flame Rift as well and deal both players 4 damage. And now he is sitting behind the shield that is Ensnaring Bridge. Believe in the shield.
That's all Jacob's got.
Believe in the shield, Glenn. Okay?
I don't know. I don't like being targeted by red spells.
You gotta believe in the shield. All right, show and tell. Aha! It happens. Leyline of Sanctity. It does happen. So that interesting play, that unique use of show and tell, actually does end up coming out.
However, on 5 life, this has really just stalemated it until Jacob can find like a Vortex, 2 more Flame Rifts.
What is that? That looked like a Flame Rift.
I mean, if it's Flame Rift, you just snap cast it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
All right, just pass the turn back.
Those are the only spells that'll do it, I think.
Now this is kind of interesting, right? Because Ensnaring Bridge is going to stand tall for a little while here, but there is a situation here where Jacob could end up getting 7 cards in his hand.
Yeah.
And then
he can't legally cast a lot of those burn spells.
Yeah, he can't actually cast them. And this looks like something he can play, which is Grim Lavamancer, but
it's super ineffective.
Yeah. Hi, not you. Joseph draws a card. It is a Volcanic Island. So we're going to see a lot of draw go here. Joseph has better draws than Jacob does at this point, but we're going to see a lot of draw go here. As you see a red Elemental Blast drawn for Jacob, and he does just pass the turn back. Joseph is going to take a draw step. He draws a Flooded Strand. He passes back. Jacob, Lava Spike.
Try again. Now, is red Elemental Blast the one you can cast without targeting a blue spell? I'm just curious. I know one of them you can, one of them you can't.
Oh, we'll find out. Here's a Ponder. Ponder resolves.
I hope we don't find out.
All right, fair enough.
That would mean a very tedious game state of development.
Gristlebrand, Brainstorm, and an Ancient Tomb are the cards that Joseph is taking a look at here. We have different definition of the nuts. You see Joseph taking a look at Flame Rift saying, does that target? And it doesn't.
I think the big issue with the Flame Rift here is he wants to take that Brainstorm, but he can't afford to go to 4 for a fetch land to shuffle with it. So it is probably better to just shuffle the Ponder instead.
Flame Rift putting the fear of God in Joseph. The first time Flame Rift ever has scared anyone.
That's probably not true.
I've never been scared by Flame Rift.
Are you everyone?
Debatable. I feel like I represent quite a few people.
Ah, okay.
Maybe I represent everyone.
Are you an alpha consumer? Or?
I'm the alpha male. That's what I am.
We're getting real tangential on this sociology discussion.
I don't know what tangential means. So.
And yeah, you represent a lot of people. you were right on the money. It looks like he kept that Ponder. I guess he figures it's going to be a long game. I'm just going to sit here. I'll draw those junker cards. Bide my time.
Yeah, he's a little bit scared right now. And you can see that he's not playing another one of his non-basic lands because he's pretty scared of Price of Progress.
Of course.
Now, I think, I think that we agree that Jacob probably sideboarded these out, but we're not 100% sure. But you see he has a Volcanic Island in his hand that he's electing not to play. He also doesn't want to go down to 4 life because he's scared of Flame Rift. And you're going to see Goblin Guide here from Jacob. He's just going to pass the turn. I think you need to decide what card you're most scared of, because I'm not sure that he can play around both.
Right. I think it's easy to get, kind of tunnel visioned. You're playing for top 8, and you just know that this card can kill you. And, even if you're sure he sided it out, some part of you is like, you're going to be so embarrassed if he didn't, and you just die. But that said, I think you should go ahead and just be playing those. It gives him access to a little something something.
Yeah, and he gets more land. You know, I'm assuming that he's boarded in the Echoing Truce, of course, because if he hasn't, I don't think that he can actually win. But you're going to see a brainstorm here from Joseph. I mean, he's playing on as though he has sideboarded those in, as you do see a Force of Will among other cards, a Gristlebrand and a Mystery card there with the brainstorm.
I would really want to have a force in this situation. Like when I draw the Echoing Truth, you know, I want to be able to literally force it down.
Yeah.
Because you can expect Rebs or Pyroblasts from a mono red opponent pretty regularly.
Yep. You see him put back cards with the brainstorm. And you know, now that he does have a Force of Will, it's actually pretty safe to play this Flooded Strand and sacrifice it, shuffle those cards away, because you know he'll go down to 4 and then Force of Will put him down to 3, but 3 is not 0, so he'll be all right.
Yep, he will be equally vulnerable to both Flame Rift and Sulfuric Vortex.
Yeah.
On 3 versus 4.
Draw stuff from Jacob. Is it Bonfire of the Damned? No. Passes the turn back. Flooded Strand gets sacrificed here. Joseph is going to move down to 4 life. He searches up a basic island here, shuffling away his deck quite a bit. Hood up now.
Serious business.
This is no joke.
No vowels.
Hood down. Hood right back down. Takes a draw step, finds another volcanic island. See if he plays a land, he chooses not to. So Jacob's going to draw a card here. Jacob draws a Chain Lightning.
He has a Flame Rift.
Does he?
Yeah, I just spotted it. The delightful cone arcing overhead.
Huh.
He's probably going to go for it here.
You probably got to make a move, right?
I mean, he's got a Reb. What more do you want?
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Yeah, that's a rift.
That looks to be a Flame Rift, yeah.
You can also try and kill the Gristlebrand as sort of a check on misdirection. But okay, yep.
There's Flame Rift.
Here it is.
So now you're gonna see Force of Will here from Joseph Loster. This is gonna be the 3rd Flame Rift of the game here by Jacob. Yeah. One of the few cards that actually gets him out of this situation. There's Force of Will on Show and Tell. And you're going to see Jacob tap a red here. He's going to cast Red Elemental Blast on the Force of Will and say, is this it?
Is this enough?
And it is. Joseph picks up his Gristlebrand, his lands, and everything else. And Staring Bridge is going to get the job done that game for Jacob Dobbs. So we are going to move to a 3rd and final game here between Mono Red Burn and Sneak and Show.
Yeah, wow. That was, you know, he had his 4 outs basically. They were both very close to about 4 outs, right? He had 2 Echoing Truths he could draw.
Assuming he boarded in the Echoing Truths, he had 2 of those that he could draw.
Oh, so 2. So it's actually more like 4 outs versus 2 outs.
Yeah.
But Joseph also has access to counter spells, but so does Jacob. So I guess it was really a favorable situation for Jacob after all.
Yeah, you know, Joseph
when you think about it.
Joseph has access to a lot more manipulation. Excuse me, but overall, I mean, Joseph is literally drawing to 2 cards and 2 Echoing Truths to get out of that situation. So we'll see. We'll see if he's able to find one this game here, as you don't see him going back to the sideboard at all. He is just happy, shuffling away, and Jacob is kind of looking at things here, seeing if he wants to change anything. As you see him go by a Price of Progress, and he actually pulled that out.
Yep. My thinking is he's probably now trying to hedge a little against Lava Spike, perhaps, or something. He probably also may have been impressed by Ensnaring Bridge, and maybe he didn't board in all of them, and he's like, yeah, I definitely want all of those this time.
Sure.
Maybe just going up to the full amount of Revs for the same reason, because obviously both of those cards were key in winning this game.
Yeah, Price of Progress would have been very poor both games that we have seen so far. As you can see, Joseph doing a lot to make sure that he is searching out basic lands, make sure he does not get hit by the POP. If you guys are just joining us, we are in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Cedric Phillips, Glenn Jones here in the booth, bringing you guys the SCG Open Series. You
And
guys,
pop culture tidbits from,
yeah, of
from
course.
the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. Can't Hardly Wait, Jennifer Love Hewitt's breakout film. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Seems a little loose.
maybe it was.
Maybe.
Maybe it was Parent Trap.
Parent Trap? Was that her?
Sorry, House Arrest.
Ah, yeah, okay.
That certainly was her. I'm positive.
Oh, as long as you're positive.
You can go to Wikipedia if you want.
I don't need to check it, Sentry.
That movie also had Jamie Lee Curtis. Just in case you didn't know that, she was also in there. I'm like, you think you're a wealth of knowledge? I'm just a wealth of completely irrelevant information.
Oh no, you. I think we're on the same page here.
Yeah. And then again, you do know like Channing Tatum's like whole,
Yeah.
like
impressive,
movie
like,
history.
catalog.
Yeah, I know. We talked about this on a different show. I do know you know all about that. So it's hard to say which one of us is more useless, but you know.
You know, have you ever noticed that when AJ dyes his hair red, he looks a little bit like Jamie Lee Curtis?
I'm not going to tell him you said that.
I told him that when he did it. That was SCG Pittsburgh, I think. The one Caleb won with Blue Zoo. Yeah.
Bazinga.
Took it in stride.
Yeah, well, how else are you going to take it? It's out there in the open. Now everyone else knows too.
I think Blue looks better.
I think blue looks good.
He got nicknamed at the poker table when we were playing. You know, on Wednesday or Thursday, Thursday. When he came in, one of the older gentlemen at the poker table nicknamed him Big Blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
As he was playing.
He's a big guy.
That became the nickname for the next like 4 hours.
I'll keep calling him that. Call him Big Green too.
I'm a big fan. Let's make it happen.
I hope he goes to
Guys,
green here.
out there, if you see AJ around, you want him to sign your playmat or whatever, make sure you refer to him as Big Blue first.
Kind of thinks we don't get to see AJ anymore in this tournament. He had a really cool deck this weekend, I think.
He did have a sweet deck. I'm hoping I actually get to do a deck tech with him during the break between this round and top 8, but not sure if that'll happen. Needs a number of factors to come together, including me finding AJ and doing the deck tech itself. So.
Our director giving us some grief here, as Joseph Loster is taking a look at his opening 7 cards. Let's see if this is it. Again, a favorable matchup here for Joseph, but the draws haven't really come together very well for him so far. You know, for what this deck is capable of, the power level of this deck, and how explosive it is, his draws have not come together very well in either game.
I like mulliganing a little more post-board with Sneak and Show here than pre-board, as you have more free wins in your deck. Literally have more free wins. Like if you leyline on turn 0, that's generally going to be a free win a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You also can just randomly pick up the turn 2 Sneak. That's a free win.
Yep.
So if your hand is not actively good or like is speculative, why keep a speculative hand where you can make a speculative mulligan?
And this is a deck that mulligans well. It does have, of course, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Ponder, and 1 Preordain, and it does have those I win draws and those I win cards. So I definitely agree with you on that. Don't be afraid to throw it back. We've already seen a match today where it was a Dredge versus a blue-white Light and Tutor deck, where the gentleman playing blue-white, his name is escaping me right now, I don't want to say it incorrectly, mulligan 4, found a rest in peace game 1, and just won the game. So
Vidi almost won a 3
yeah?
playing against Dredge with Stoneblade. It was close.
I bet it is. It always is with Vidi.
Yep.
It always is.
Master of the Storm.
Joseph is happy. You see a Ponder on turn 1. Flooded Strand, Emrakul, and Show and Tell?
I think that's going to be a keep.
Yeah.
I'm not a rocket scientist or anything, but that seems pretty good. Oh, he already has an Emrakul, but he's got a fetch land, so that's fine.
He's got Gristlebrand in his hand as well, so we can see a turn 2 Gristlebrand here.
That also seems good.
Why?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Can you explain it to me? Keeps with the Ponder.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that Emrakul is the 3rd card down.
Uh-oh. I saw Jacob's hand as he goes through here with the Arid Mace, so he had 1 white bordered card in there. We saw what the white bordered card was last time.
Yeah, but if he plays, all he has to do is cast something on turn 1.
Yeah.
And Gristlebrand is just going to be in play.
Yeah. The problem here is the white bordered card. I mean, the white bordered card in his hand is Ensnaring Bridge again.
Well, I mean, I think that's fine for Joseph in this spot, though. He'll get a swing first, right?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Show and Tell. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's going to Show and Tell that in play.
Well, it'll still be on, 20 or whatever.
Yeah, he'll be a high enough life total that he can probably draw some cards here, as you're going to see a Chain Lightning bring Joseph down to 17. We're going to see a turn 2 Show and Tell here from Joseph. As you see a Show and Tell in his hand, you see the Lotus Petal. Here comes the land. There's the Flooded Strand.
Crack.
And you see him taking a moment here, seeing if that's exactly what he wants to do, but I can't imagine a world where it isn't.
Yeah, you definitely go for it here. It's possible he'll go for the Emrakul instead of the Griselbrand, though. I would go for the Griselbrand. I'd want the opportunity to maybe draw some cards if I get bridged.
Yeah.
Versus just being cold and sitting there doing nothing while I die slowly to a horrible flurry of red spells.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. There's your Lotus Petal. There's your Show and Tell. This is what this deck normally looks like here. And you see Jacob immediately put that Ensnaring Bridge down.
Tough game.
Yep. Jacob thumbing between Emrakul and Griselbrand. That's his hand right now. 2 Griselbrands and an Emrakul. And you got to put one of those in play.
I think he went for the Griselbrand there.
Yep. There's your Ensnaring Bridge. There's your Griselbrand. That Griselbrand, as good as it is, will not be attacking right now. And
Jacob's shaking. He's excited.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a game. Oh.
Goblin Guy, the draw for Jacob that
Perfect.
turn. Yeah. There is a Goblin Guide. He just wants to empty his hand now. You see Scalding Tarn. Just wants to keep his hand below 7. Joseph draws a card. It is another Show and Tell.
Perfect.
He has no he has no manipulation in his hand whatsoever. And of course, again, he is just drawing those 2 Echoing Truths right now. And we know that Jacob does have ways to fight against Echoing Truth with Red Elemental Blast. But you're going to see Joseph right now draw 7 cards. He's going to push himself down to 9.
I like it. I like the cut of his jib. The Moxie.
He is searching for Echoing Truth. Or manipulation, or anything. Here you see Brainstorm Ponder. You
ding,
found
ding, ding,
one.
ding, ding, ding. We got a winner.
He's going to push that to the front.
I don't think we cast it this turn, though, do we? I'm not sure. Well, we do have a force. That's actually the real question. I think I would probably
if he has a
pass,
force, it will.
end step it, bouncing the bridge, and then untap, get the attack in, and try to find a force for when it comes back down with the Brainstorms and Ponders that I have now. I think that's my line. He has a Mountain he can play as well, which I'm sure he will, since it keeps him safe. So probably cast a Ponder, play a Mountain. That's about all we need to do.
Yeah, I think pulling the trigger on Echoing Truth right now doesn't really get a lot done, especially because he doesn't have a Force of Will. It will put him up to 16, and then he'll get another Griselbrand activation to look for a Force of Will.
Yeah,
but if he misses, then it's a disaster. He only has 2 Echoing Truths in his deck. He's already drawn 1. No guarantee. The other one could be the bottom card of his deck.
Plus, this also lets you play around double Ensnaring Bridge.
Yep.
Force of Will, trying to draw a Force of Will won't beat one of those going long, but this play will actually be reasonably successful, buy you a lot of time.
You see him play a Mountain here, and he does have Show and Tell in the Leyline of Sanctity as well.
I would probably just do that.
I think I would do that and put the ultimate shield up,
Yeah. We've already got our lockup, now we just need to create the lockup, and he's solving this puzzle same as us. This will also do you the nice benefit of letting you know if there is in fact another Ensnaring Bridge.
Oh, God. I saw the card Jacob just put down.
Oh, Sulfuric Vortex?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
I think that we're okay with it, but it's going to be rough. Yeah. Well, we maybe should have put the Emrakul down to hedge against that.
Ugh.
Yeah, now we're in a bit of a pickle. Joseph realized he may have just locked himself up here.
Yeah. He needs to Echoing Truth both of those permanents.
Yeah.
Jacob draws a card. His hand is full of lands.
That puts Jacob to 18 here.
Yep.
He's going to pass.
17.
17. Oh, sorry.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, if we'd gone for Emrakul there, what could have been, what could have been.
That is Yeah, if he does put Emrakul in there, it's wildly different. I mean, it's strange, right? Because it may. I mean, we figured that putting Leyline into play was super safe. We were well set up.
Well, honestly, I forgot that he had the Emrakul. If I'd known that Emrakul was there, I would have put it into play. Because, like I said, if you pass turn and then play into Echoing Truth later, you play around Double Ensnaring Bridge, which is the only thing that can beat an Emrakul and Gristlebrand in play.
Sure.
So that play does seem superior.
Now he has to find that second Echoing Truth in his deck. It's going to have to manipulate like crazy. Gristlebrand activations are out the door here. And now Joseph, not only does he have to dodge, he has to dodge all of the burn spells from Jacob's deck. Well, not all of the burn spells, I take that back, but your Flame Ref type cards now.
Yeah. Well, he does, it looks like he has a sneak attack in his hand. So, well, that's weird. If he has a sneak attack, I think he should have just cast it.
Yeah, maybe he's never had to piece together this sort of puzzle before, because I definitely agree with you. If he casts a sneak attack, the next turn it's over.
Right. Yeah, you just cast, we missed, we're giving our opponent an extra draw step and an extra 2 damage.
Yep.
Which is a lot when you're at 7 and your opponent has mountains. I think he maybe tunnel visioned here into thinking I need to find that truth, or I need to find another show or something like that.
And the other thing that he can do here, of course, Glenn, is he can play a land pass, end step, bouncy and snaring bridge, play sneak attack, and activate it in the same turn.
Right. Or he hasn't played a land this turn.
Yeah, because he hasn't played a land yet this turn.
You're right. Okay, so this line also works then.
So it's not over.
No. It was never over. It was just tighter.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess.
Sack of this going down to 6.
What are we doing now? I guess we're planning to brainstorm. Yeah, I imagine we'll be brainstorming and then planning to cast the Echoing Truth in the end step.
Yep.
Okay.
We're gonna make it.
Alright, so yeah, brainstorm. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what that third card is, but they all look pretty bad. Oh, Leon is thinking. Yep, they're all pretty bad.
They are pretty bad, yeah.
Alright, well, shuffle those up, draw a card, and pass with our plan intact. Truth the bridge, untap. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Coming to the same conclusions we are, I imagine.
Yeah, rather slowly, but that's okay.
I mean, you're playing for top 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the line. You got to make sure you get it right.
He just passes the turn.
Please don't kill me.
Pretty much.
Please don't flame riff me.
Please don't flame riff me. Draw a card.
Take
2 from the vortex.
13.
Big draw.
That's a
Bloodstained Mire. He's got all lands.
That should be it.
End of turn. Let's see if he pulls the trigger.
I'm sure he will. There's no time like the present.
That's right. There's your Echoing Truth on that Ensnaring Bridge. It looks like he has figured out the pieces to the puzzle here.
This one? Not the. Oh no.
Yeah. No. Joseph's gonna go down to 4.
Gonna draw his card that he doesn't need.
Yep. There's your Volcanic Island. He's got it all set up now. So he's going to play that, and as long as he doesn't tap mana incorrectly, which he has not, you're going to see a sneak attack here, you're going to see an activation, and we are going to see the Flying Spaghetti Monster come in here, and...
Is this good?
It has been a good fight from Jacob. I mean, his hand that he kept actually was pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
But you see him extend the hand, and Joseph Foster, as long as things do go accordingly, is going to be playing top 8 today.
Yeah, he was on 18 points. That puts him to 21. That puts him in